One tiny oil change slip-up can blow your engine in 30 seconds. Metal grinding, gaskets bursting, and a meltdown that'll cost you over $5,000. Even the pros mess these up. I'll break down 21 savage mistakes that destroy engines during routine oil changes. And if you stick around, I've got 2 game-changing bonus tips that could be the difference between a smooth ride and total engine failure. Let's dive in. Mistake number 21, draining cold oil. Cold oil is thick and lazy. It clings to your engine's guts, trapping sludge, shavings, and grime deep inside. Drain it cold, and half that filth stays behind. You think you did an oil change? Not really. Warm oil is your cleanup crew. It flows fast, carries out the junk, and leaves your engine breathing easy. Run the engine for 5 to 10 minutes, and that's all it takes. But don't rush. If the oil's piping hot, it'll scald your hands. Let it cool enough, then drain it properly. Leaving contaminants in your engine can be a nightmare. The next one's so sneaky, and it could flood your engine in seconds. Mistake number 20, leaving the old O-ring behind. It's called double gasketing, when the old rubber O-ring sticks to the engine block and you unknowingly screw on a new filter over it. Now you've got 2 gaskets and 0 seal. The moment you start the engine, oil blasts out under pressure. Your engine runs dry, metal grinds on metal, and boom! Hello, $4,000 repair bill. Every time you remove an oil filter, make sure the old O-ring comes off with it. Check the mounting surface. Feel it if you have to. Don't rush. It's a tiny detail, but skip it once, and you might be calling a tow truck before your driveway's out of sight. Don't let one forgotten O-ring kill your engine. Caught that one? Good. But most engines don't survive what's coming next, even if you think you're being generous. Mistake number 19, overfilling oil. When oil levels are too high, the crankshaft starts slapping it, whipping it into foam. Foamy oil equals bad news. It can't lubricate properly, causing up to 30% more friction and faster engine wear. But that's not all. Too much oil builds pressure inside the crankcase. That pressure forces its way past gaskets and seals, leading to leaks. Blow a rear main seal, and you're looking at a $500 to $1,200 repair. Modern engines don't tolerate much extra. A typical 4-cylinder holds just 4 to 5.5 quarts. Add even 200 milliliters, about 7 ounces too much, and you're already stressing seals, especially if fuel or coolant is sneaking into the oil. Overfilling usually isn't on purpose. It's the result of a few sneaky, easy-to-miss mistakes most people don't even realize they're making. Stick around. Those silent slip-ups are coming up next, and they're the real engine killers. If this has been helpful so far, go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the fixes that could save you thousands tomorrow. Mistake number 18, over-tightening the drain pan bolt. More force doesn't mean more secure. Crank that bolt too hard, and you risk stripping the threads. Or worse, cracking the oil pan, especially if it's aluminum, like in many Ford and GM trucks. Use the wrong wrench, or go full gorilla, and you'll round off the bolt. Getting it out? Now you're wrestling with a breaker bar, or hammering away with a chisel like it's medieval surgery. If the threads are toast, you're either rethreading for $100 or replacing the entire oil pan, which could run you up to $1,000. Here's how to avoid the mess. Check your owner's manual for the correct torque spec. Grab a torque wrench, tighten until it clicks, and walk away. That satisfying click is your engine saying thank you. One careless twist, and your quick oil change becomes a busted pan disaster. Don't learn this one the hard way. That was just the warm-up. What's next is a mistake of force, and it could leave you with more than just a mess. Mistake number 17, over-tightening the oil filter. Here's another case where muscle ruins machines. Cranking the oil filter too hard crushes the rubber O-ring, warps the seal, and creates tiny gaps, just enough for oil to slowly leak down the engine block. At first, it's just a drip, then it's a mess. Eventually, it's a repair bill you didn't see coming. Come removal time, it'll feel like it's fused in place, Expect stuck tools, scraped knuckles, and a wrestling match you didn't sign up for. So, how tight is tight enough? Hand tighten the new filter until it's snug, then give it another 3/4 turn. That's it. No tools, no guessing, no leaks. Simple, precise, done right. And even when you think you're topping off just right, missing one final move could cost you big. Mistake 16, mixing old and new oil. Old oil breaks down over time. It loses viscosity and its ability to lubricate your engine properly. Worse, it fills up with dirt, metal shavings, and combustion byproducts. When you keep adding fresh oil on top, you're just mixing good oil with bad. Instead of restoring protection, you're diluting it. Contaminants stay behind, sludge builds up, and corrosion eventually eats away at internal parts. Little by little, engine performance drops. Wear increases and repair costs skyrocket. If you are not ready to part with $4,000 or $10,000 to replace a whole new engine, drain the old oil. Adding new oil isn't a shortcut to a healthy engine. It's a slow road to expensive problems. Stick to full oil changes, not half measures. This one's so simple, it's almost embarrassing. Yet it sabotages the oil change before it even starts. But remember, some tricks cause more harm than help. Mistake number 15. Using Teflon tape on the drain plug threads. Many mechanics and weekend warriors do it hoping to lock in a leak-free seal. But the next time you crank down that plug wrapped in plumber's tape, you might have just invited disaster. Teflon tape messes with torque. It throws off the tension needed for a proper seal, leading to either a loose plug that drips or an over-tightened one that cracks your oil pan. Worse, tiny bits of tape can break off. They may enter the oil system and block narrow passages. In some cases, they can even jam the pump and starve your engine of lubrication. And here's something most people don't realize. In some vehicles, especially hybrids and certain diesels, the drain plug helps complete the circuit for critical sensors. Covering it with tape can interrupt that signal readings. Keep it simple. Clean threads, a fresh crush washer, and the right torque. That's all it takes. No gimmicks or garbage in your oil, just clean sealing and a healthy engine that lives to run another day. Up next, this one's so simple, it's almost embarrassing, yet it sabotages the oil change before it even starts. Mistake number 14, ignoring to remove the oil filler cap. When the oil filler cap stays on, a vacuum forms inside the engine, slowing the drain to a crawl. That means old, dirty oil lingers, full of sludge and grit that eats away at your engine over time. It's like trying to pour syrup from a bottle with no air hole. Slow, stubborn, and frustrating. Removing the cap lets air flow in, so oil flows out. Fast, clean, complete. And when you're done, put that cap back on. Tight. Forget it. And oil could spray while driving, pulling in dirt, grime, and serious engine trouble. So don't skip the basics. Cap off before the drain. Cap on before the drive. Simple, smart, and it saves you from big headaches down the road. Sadly, if you miss this one last check, you might undo everything you just did. Mistake number 13, skipping the final oil check after the change. After a change, oil doesn't settle evenly. What looked full in the pan might come up short once it circulates. Always start the engine, let it idle. Maybe give it a gentle rev to 3,000 RPM, then shut it down and wait 10 minutes. Now check the dipstick. Wipe it clean, dip again, and read it carefully. Chances are, your engine's thirstier than you thought. If you don't top it off, you're running low, and that's a fast track to dry cranking, blown seals, and costly repairs. Even quick lube shops mess this up. They punch in a number, set a meter, and walk away. But meters can be off, and databases aren't gospel. A final dipstick check takes 30 seconds, and it could save your engine. Never trust the first fill. Always verify and adjust. Mistake number 12, not lubing the oil filter O-ring. This one stirs debate. Some old school pros skip it and get away with it. Why? Because they never over-tighten, and they change oil like clockwork. But if you want to play it safe and smart, always lube the O-ring. Installing a dry oil filter can lead to a poor seal. Instead of locking oil in, it slowly leaks out. And once oil starts leaking, you've got bigger problems. Less lubrication, more friction, more wear, and a repair bill waiting to happen. It takes 5 seconds. Dip a clean finger in fresh oil and coat the rubber O-ring before installation. That tiny step makes a perfect seal, prevents leaks, and makes your next filter removal way easier. Some engines might survive this slip, but just barely. Unless you know yours inside out, it's not a gamble worth taking. Mistake number 11, changing oil but skipping the oil filter. A dirty oil filter immediately contaminates your fresh oil, pumping sludge, grit, and metal shavings right back through your engine. That gunk doesn't just hang around. It scrapes bearings, scores pistons, and clogs narrow oil passages, starving vital components of lubrication. And when your engine runs dry in the wrong places, get ready for overheating, blown seals, or worse, a head gasket failure that could set you back $5,000, all from skipping a part that costs a few bucks. That's why every oil change means a fresh filter. No exceptions, no shortcuts. It's tiny, but it's your engine's first line of defense, and skipping it is asking for trouble. The surface you're standing on might be tricking you, and your engine could pay the price. Mistake number 10, checking oil level on uneven ground. Oil settles differently depending on how the car is tilted. Park on a slope, and that dipstick reading becomes pure fiction. You could think the oil's low when it's actually fine, or worse, think it's full when your engine's running dry. Here's why. Every engine has an oil sump, but its position varies. If your car's facing uphill and the sump's near the front, oil shifts back, making the level read low. You top it off, and boom, overfill. Face downhill, the oil surges forward. Now it reads high and you underfill, starving the engine. Both are bad. Too much oil increases pressure and can blow seals. Too little, friction, heat, and major wear. Always check oil on level ground, engine off, after it's had a few minutes to settle. Your car might warn you when it's dangerously low, but for mistakes like this, there's no warning light, just damage. Mistake number 9, using low quality or wrong filters. Going cheap on oil filters might save you a few bucks now, but it's a fast pass to engine disaster. Low quality filters clog early, tear easily, and worst of all, let metal shavings and grit slip through. That junk circulates with your oil, grinding away at pistons, bearings, and cylinder walls. Performance drops, wear skyrockets, and your engine's lifespan is cut short. Even worse, using the wrong filter. Some might look like they fit, the threads match, the seal feels right, but they can restrict oil flow, and if oil isn't flowing, your engine's starving. No lube means more heat, more friction, and eventually, a full-blown rebuild. Stick to quality brands or OEM-approved filters that meet or exceed factory specs. And don't just eyeball it, double-check the part number. Cartridge-style filters, like many Toyotas use, reduce the risk of backward installation, but they're not foolproof. One wrong filter can do thousands in damage. Don't gamble with your engine to save $3. Choose smart and filter right every single time. You trust your oil, but do you really know what's inside it? The next error is hiding in plain sight. Mistake number 8, trusting mystery oil from shady sources. Your engine's lifeblood is oil. And just like humans have blood types, engines need the right oil to survive. Grabbing a mystery brand bottle from a dusty shelf or shady online deal is a gamble your engine can't afford. Low-grade or off-spec oil breaks down faster, loses viscosity, and fails to protect. That means more friction, more wear, and eventually, total engine failure. Oil is engineered, not just bottled. It's graded by viscosity, how thick or thin it flows, and every engine has a sweet spot. That's why you'll see labels like 5W30, one number for cold starts, one for high heat. Your manual spells it out for a reason. Don't ignore certifications either. API, ACA, ELSAC, those aren't just alphabet soup. They're proof the oil meets your engine's needs. The brand doesn't need to be fancy, but the grade and spec must match. Period. So skip the too good to be true stuff. Your engine deserves better than bargain bin sludge. Use certified quality oil and keep that lifeblood flowing clean. Surprisingly, it's not what goes on alone, even what gets left behind matter. And this next mistake causes chaos in silence. Mistake number 7, spilling oil on engine components and not cleaning it up. Oil might be liquid gold for your engine, but spill it where it doesn't belong, and it turns into slow-motion sabotage. Left uncleaned, oil seeps into rubber hoses and belts, making them swell, soften, or crack over time. Even worse, it creeps into electrical connectors, shorting out sensors and triggering mystery warning lights. That O2 sensor acting up? You might be looking at a $600 repair, all because of a splash you ignored. It doesn't stop there. Oil pooled on hot components, like your exhaust manifold, can start to smoke, stink, or in worst cases, ignite. Yes, spilled oil can become a fire hazard, and this isn't rare. It's one of the most common rookie mistakes during DIY oil changes. The fix is simple. If you spill it, clean it. Grab a rag or paper towel, blot it up, then follow with engine-safe degreaser. Take the extra minute. It could save you a fortune in parts, and maybe your car. Mistake number 6, refilling oil hurriedly. Pouring oil in too quickly doesn't just cause spills. It traps air inside the engine. That leads to foaming, and foamy oil can't lubricate properly. When oil gets aerated, your pump ends up pushing bubbles instead of fluid. That messes with pressure, leaving critical parts under-lubricated. More friction, faster wear, and a higher risk of damage you won't see coming until it's too late. Take your time. Pour the oil slowly, in stages. Let it settle between pours so the system can breathe. A funnel isn't optional. It's your best friend here. It keeps the pour smooth, clean, and on target. Once you're done refilling, give the oil a few minutes to settle before checking the dipstick. You'll get a more accurate reading and catch any issues before you close the hood. In this case, slow and steady doesn't just win the race, it saves your engine. But take too long, and you might invite another problem we'll tackle next. Mistake number 5, allowing dirt or debris to fall into the oil fill hole. A speck of dirt near the oil cap may sound harmless, but once that grit drops inside, it's game over for smooth engine operation. Dirt, dust, or even a stray leaf can ride along with your oil, turning it into liquid sandpaper. That abrasive mix scrapes against vital parts like your camshaft, pistons, and bearings, slowly grinding your engine. And it doesn't stop there. Bigger debris can clog narrow oil passages or even jam the oil pump. Tiny particles build up into sludge, choking flow and spiking engine temps. Performance drops. Wear increases. Repairs get real expensive, real fast. Here's how to avoid it. Wipe around the oil cap before removing it. Use a clean funnel when pouring, and never leave the fill hole uncovered longer than necessary. One careless second can mean thousands in damage, but don't stress. If this already happened, stay tuned. I've got a pro-level trick at the end that might just save your engine. Mistake number 4, using an impact wrench to remove the drain plug. Impact wrenches are made for removing lug nuts, not delicate oil drain plugs. These tools unleash brutal torque in split-second bursts. And if your oil pan is aluminum, like in many Ford, GM, or Honda vehicles, one overzealous zap can strip the threads, or worse, crack the pan entirely. Stripped threads means leaks, low oil, and an engine begging for mercy. Cracked pan? You're looking at a $1,000 replacement or a $5,000 engine rebuild if you ignore the damage. And it doesn't stop there. When the plug gets ripped out by force, hot oil can come shooting out. That's not just a mess, it's a legit burn hazard. All of this from trying to save 30 seconds. Here's the fix. Use a regular ratchet, follow the manual's torque specs, and take your time. No brute force required. And if patience isn't your thing, let a pro handle it. Paying a mechanic beats paying for a new engine. Everything's back together. You're ready to go. But one last step stands between you and a total engine meltdown. Mistake number 3, starting the engine without a leak check. Modern engines pump oil fast, up to 40 liters per minute. That's enough to drain your entire system in under 30 seconds if there's a leak. All it takes is a loose drain plug or a slightly misaligned oil filter, and boom, pressurized oil shoots out like a fire hose. If you're already driving when that happens, you're cooking the engine from the inside. One Ford Fusion owner learned this the hard way. A $5,000 engine replacement, all because they skipped a simple check. Here's the smarter move. Before starting the engine, look underneath the car. Any fresh oil spots? Check around the drain plug and filter. Dry is good, shiny and wet is not. Once it looks clean, start the engine and let it idle for a minute. Then shut it off and check again. Some leaks only show up once the oil's under pressure. Don't rush this. It's 60 seconds of prevention or 60 months of payments on a new motor. You choose. What you didn't replace might be leaking right now, and you'd never know until it's too late. Mistake number 2, forgetting to replace or check the crush washer. Many drain plugs use a crush washer, also called a sealing washer, to create a tight seal. Reusing the old washer or not checking if it's even there can lead to slow leaks that go unnoticed until damage is already done. You might think everything's sealed, but your engine is quietly losing oil. By the time the low oil light flicks on, if it does, you could already be risking engine wear. Or worse, always replace the crush washer when reinstalling the drain plug. Most are aluminum or copper and cost pennies. Skipping it can cost thousands. Mistake number 1, not replacing the oil cap after filling. At first, everything seems fine, until you start driving. Then the oil starts spewing like a geyser across your engine bay. What follows? A smoky, burning stench, oil-soaked components, and possibly even the dreaded check engine light. If oil makes its way onto belts, you could face slippage or premature failure. In extreme cases, oil pooling near hot engine parts becomes a real fire hazard. You'll also lose precious oil, risking low pressure and potential engine damage. All that from a cap the size of a hockey puck. If you're still with us, you're serious about protecting your engine. Time to reward that dedication with bonus tips. Tip number 1, swap in a magnetic drain plug. Think of it as a metal detector for engine killers. A magnetic drain plug grabs microscopic metal shavings floating in your oil. Bits from normal engine wear that, left unchecked, act like liquid sandpaper. Over time, those particles grind away at your bearings, cams, and cylinder walls. The magnet catches them before they do harm, keeping your oil cleaner and your engine safer, longer. It's a cheap upgrade that works every mile, every oil change. Spend $15 now, or roll the dice on a $5,000 rebuild later. Easy choice. Tip number 2, reset. Trip B, after every oil change, sticky notes get tossed, service logs get lost, but your trip meter, always right where you left it. Right after you change your oil, turn the key to the on position without starting the engine, then press and hold the Trip B or Trip 2 reset button until it shows 0. That's it. Now, every time you drive, you'll see exactly how many miles it's been since your last oil change. No guesswork, no surprises. It's fast, foolproof, and built right into your dashboard. Use it! You've just dodged 21 engine-killing oil change blunders. Nice work. Now, if you're serious about keeping your ride smooth for the long haul, doing this will make your car's suspension last forever and save you a fortune in repairs. Don't miss it. Your car will thank you.